Hello, good to be back on your screen once again. I am Joyce Godemi. How have you been enjoying the previous videos? Have you been watching them? More importantly, have you subscribed to this YouTube channel? I am very sure that if you can scroll back and see the videos that have been posted, they would definitely be a blessing to you. Today, I'm going to be teaching on something very profound. Before I go ahead, I'd like you to just take a minute, take a moment, subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell so that you can always get the videos immediately they are being posted. So as I was saying, I'm going to be teaching on something very profound, or I'm going to be talking briefly on something very profound today, and that is the dangers of premarital sex. All right, dangers of premarital sex. Now that's a tush way to say it. Dangers of fornication. That's exactly what I want to talk about, because that is what it is. You know, something that is unrighteous, something that is a sin, you have to call it its exact name. Don't call it trying to know each other, intimacy. It is fornication. Premarital sex is just a very tush way of saying it. All right, so what are the dangers of fornication before marriage? All right, not like I'm trying to condemn anybody. I'm just trying to call sin what it is. Okay, all right. So the first danger of sex before marriage is number one, you are mistraining your spouse. What do I mean by that? I believe that in courtship, or when you are getting to know the person that you're going to marry, you know, when you're in that process of getting to know the person better before you get married, there's the wisdom of God where the couple stays away from sex before marriage. In this process, you learn abstinence, you learn self-control. You understand that you're with somebody that you love, and you still have to stay away from the person to preserve the sanctity, to preserve the holiness of marriage, all right, to train yourselves, to prepare yourselves for the beautiful journey ahead of you. It is the wisdom of God to stay away from sex before marriage. You are training each other, because there are times in marriage, there are seasons in marriage when you are not going to be able to have sex. For example, the birth of a new child. When a child is born, it is required for the woman to stay away from sex for a couple of weeks, about 6 to 8 weeks, depending on some medical advice. Sometimes it could even go as high as 12 weeks, where sexual intercourse is strongly medically not advised. It is not advised medically to have sex until the woman has completely healed and is ready, you know, for any sexual encounter after a child has been born. Another time could be when the spouse is not around. There are times when your spouse is not around. Probably your spouse has gone on an assignment, traveled somewhere, gone to attend to one or two things, and they are just not immediately present for you, you know, to access them or to express your love sexually. What happens in those times? So I believe that courtship is that time, that opportunity where you get to train yourselves, where you get to understand the power of self-control, and where you get to understand the beautiful, you know, aspect of delayed gratification. So yield to this training and don't mistrain your spouse. As you keep giving heed to sexual, you keep fornicating, you will not give your spouse the opportunity to exercise self-control even in marriage. The second danger of fornicating in marriage, falling for the lie of sexual compatibility. Who told you that the person that God gave you, God revealed to you as your God-given spouse, they're not going to be sexually compatible? Are you aware that every good and perfect gift comes from God? It is perfect. God is leading you to someone. God is leading someone to you. Then that gift is perfect. Don't seek to understand sexual compatibility. You know, what does it even mean to be sexually compatible? But meaning, is it the wisdom of God for, you know, for us to talk about sexual compatibility? I believe that the wisdom of God when it comes to sex in marriage is that two people come together and they learn the act of love making in marriage, patiently understanding each other, communicating and moving forward, and understanding the art of love making. That is the wisdom of God, not sexual compatibility based on what the world is teaching, or based on something somebody is telling you, or based on something you are reading somewhere. So falling for that lie of, I want to know if we are sexually compatible, that is going to mislead you, and that is going to lead to fornication and lead you and expose you to dangers of stepping away or doing what God did not ask you to do. My third point, you have a comparison. I mean, how beautiful is it when you are married and the only person you have ever known, in quotes, as per Adam know your wife, known, is your spouse. You have nothing to compare each other to. You have no one to compare each other to. You are not comparing your husband to A or B or C or D. You're not comparing your wife to B or D or F or K. All right? You are knowing this person. There's something called the law of first mention, or should I say law of first contact. You know, this person is going to blossom before you. This person is going to be the very object of your fantasy that it is if you have one. All right? So this spouse has no comparison. This is the only person in your heart. This is the only person you are exposed to. So you're not going to fall into the danger or pitfall of having to compare your spouse or having to struggle with the thoughts or the memories of other partners with your spouse. The fourth danger of fornicating or fornication or fornicating before marriage: increased appetite. Increased appetite. Now, one of the things coming to my mind is the birth of a baby. When a baby is born, there's a certain amount of milk, breast milk, that the baby can consume. And as the baby keeps feeding, the level or quantity of milk that the baby can consume per time increases. And it gets to a point where this baby can consume bottles at the same time. Increased appetite. What you feed will grow. Even the intestine, even the stomach will grow. In that same vein, appetite can grow. Appetite can grow. You keep getting more, you keep wanting more. All right? When you expose yourself to sex, okay, your appetite increases. Now imagine this is somebody, Mr. A has an increased appetite of someone that have been having sex for about 5-10 years, and this person is getting married to somebody that has not had sex at all. I mean, this is going to be an unbalanced equation, because Mr. A is going to be meeting with Miss B on the grounds of the appetite that they are willing to consume. Imagine a baby wanting to consume breast milk as much as 4 bottles immediately they are born. And this is a new mother that just started lactating, that can only produce probably a spoonful of breast milk at the time. Something is going to go wrong. There's going to be disagreement. There's going to be fights. There's going to be war. There's going to be tension. Do you understand? So increased appetite is one. It could be a blessing in marriage if both partners are increasing in appetite at the same time. And it could be a very, very major issue when it is just one partner that has high appetite while the other partner is just a learner. The final point: God is not happy with you. Bible says, let not sin reign in your mortal bodies. God is not happy with fornication. He said, oh, grace abounds, grace abounds, grace. I'll ask God for forgiveness. God is not happy with you. Don't let it reign in your mortal bodies. You are the one to put away sin. You have to say no. So when God says don't do something, it is not because of God's sake. It is for your own sake. And it is not good to learn some things experientially. The other points I've just mentioned are just baby consequences compared to the spiritual consequences of fornicating outside of marriage. I mean, you're already opening your home that has not even begun to a whole lot of spiritual consequences that you might not even be aware of. Let me say this: exercise self-control. Stay away from sex before marriage. You can do this. Ask the Spirit of God to help you. Trust God. Like I said, you cannot do it on your own. You cannot do it with your flesh. You cannot do it by yourself. Trust God. Trust God for strength. You can handle this. You can do it. All right? The Lord strengthens you and helps you on this journey of sexual purity. I love you. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And we're even actually about to enter even more serious conversations. Stay glued. You'll be blessed. Bye-bye.